Event of Icon Fighting Federation 5 live on UFC Fight Pass.
Ladies and gentlemen, now making his way to the ring, Socrates Pierre.
Fighting out of Tallahassee, Florida, Socrates Pierre has had some success in mixed martial arts. Former Island Fights lightweight champion, tonight competing at a catch weight of 175 pounds. He said he started his cut from 200 pounds, and this is the first time in his career that he has worked with a strength and conditioning coach. And he said, look, I'm putting the money in. I got to take it serious. He said it's changing him as a fighter, and he's very dedicated in doing the steps necessary to get him to the next level. And Socrates Pierre believes that it's just a couple wins away before he gets that big opportunity.
Yes, I mean, what a phenomenal athlete we have in front of us here, and to see that he's kind of taking his athleticism to the next level, I'd love to really see what he comes in here with and showcases tonight.
It's kind of crazy to think about a man who walks around at 200 pounds seriously considering moving back to 155 pounds. I mean, that is a tremendous amount of size to give up, but if he's able to do so without compromising his ability, I mean, he could be an elite level 155 pounder, but he believes he's going to be able to utilize that newfound strength and conditioning that he's been able to really work with his coach. Talk about that a little bit. I mean, there are so many things that go into fighting. Sometimes nutrition and strength and conditioning tend to take a back seat to technique, but if you're able to put in the time with someone who specializes in making you the best you can be, cardiovascularly and strength-wise, it can change you as a fighter.
TJ, it's such a tough balance as fighters, right? We have all these different techniques we have to work. We have grappling, we have wrestling, we have striking, we have, everything in between, clinch work, Muay Thai. I mean, there's so many different techniques. And on top of that, yes, the strength and conditioning can get put on the back burner, but it's so important as an athlete to have the strength and conditioning.
Socrates Pierre ready to put on a show in tonight's co-main event here at Icon 5.
And now, please welcome his opponent, Harris Stephenson.
The crowd inside the Biloxi Civic Center coming alive for Harris Stephenson, training out of Long Beach, Mississippi at American Top Team Gilbertville. When you look at Stephenson, he too believes that a opportunity to the big show could be just around the corner, and he said there's a bit of serendipity in the air tonight. He is a police officer by day, was just promoted to becoming a detective, and he said that today is his 9-year anniversary with the police department, and he feels like maybe this could be the best way to celebrate that anniversary by potentially punching his ticket to a big show, and he could do that if he pulls off an impressive win over Socrates Pierre.
Yes, I love this fight. It's a firefighter versus a police officer. I mean, what a beautiful fight. And Harris did say, that he doesn't want to intentionally hurt people. He doesn't want to inflict harm. But he loves to challenge himself. He loves the competitiveness of this sport, and that's why he's in this sport. Some of us need to hurt people or create that anger and to inflict damage, right? Some of us live off of that. And then there's some of us that are just in this for the sport. And Harris is one of those fighters that's in here solely for the competitiveness too. He said he's ultimately here to face his fears. That's why he does this, to face his fears and fight past those. And I think that's a beautiful philosophy to fight and a reason to fight.
Nice sign of respect there by both of these athletes. It is Harris Stephenson taking on Socrates Pierre. This, our co-main event of the evening. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape for Icon Fighting Federation number 5. Socrates Pierre, Harris Stephenson. Catch weight tonight at 175 pounds. Socrates Pierre, the former Island Fights champ, 3 years the elder of Stephenson, 34 to 31. Mentioned the catch weight, 176.6 on the scale for Pierre. He is 2 inches the beneficiary of the reach. For our official introductions of this, our co-main event, here's Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now set for the Icon co-main event. Scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds and an Icon catch weight of 175 pounds. Presented to you by the Art of Music, Las Vegas. Introducing you first, fighting out of the blue corner. He's an MMA practitioner. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall. His official weight, 176.6 pounds. His pro record stands at 11 victories opposite 6 defeats. Fighting out of Tallahassee, Florida, here is the sound of chaos, Socrates Pierre. And across the ring, his opponent fighting out of the red corner. He is a freestyle fighter. He stands 6 foot 1 inch tall. His official weight, 175.8 pounds. His pro record stands at 6 victories opposite 2 defeats. Fighting out of D'Iberville, Mississippi, by way of Long Beach, Mississippi, here is Harris Sandman Stephenson. And our referee in charge of the action, Fred Griswold.
Fred Griswold getting this co-main event assignment here inside the Biloxi Civic Center. It is the firefighter in Socrates Pierre taking on Harris Stephenson. You would think that Stephenson might be able to get a few more fans in this ring. I mean, just being up there. My goodness. Stephenson talked a lot about keeping an eye on Socrates Pierre over the years. He thought that they might run into one another, and now they are here in our co-main event, this of Icon Fighting Federation 5. TJ DeSantis, Pearl Gonzalez, appreciate you joining us live on UFC Fight Pass. Touch of gloves, we are underway. Stephenson in the black with yellow. Socrates Pierre wearing the white.
Both gentlemen exchanging leg kicks here.
Talking to Stephenson, he said this is his first time fighting in mixed martial arts in a ring. That experience would be new to him. Pierre, no stranger to the ring. Former Island Fights lightweight champion. In control here, top position, close guard here, Stephenson.
I'm not sure if that was a slip or if that was a big strike that landed that took him off of his feet. But nonetheless, Socrates did a great job of timing that kick with an overhand right.
Mentioned that former champion is Pierre of Island Fights. He's got some wins over a UFC veteran and Brock Weaver.
Stephenson doing a great job here of getting to a high guard here. He has a mission control position here, and he's going to start fishing. I would assume he started fishing for an overhook, or as you can see, he's trying to pull that elbow in to create either an armbar attempt or potentially a triangle.
Losing that high guard position.
Socrates did a great job of shimming his shoulders and getting that guard lower, which is important, right? It's important so that not only are you not in danger of submissions, but you can create some distance and space to land some strikes here. And he's doing a great job of keeping his elbows in tight. Obviously, Stephenson has a very tricky guard and is utilizing it right now. And he's doing a great job of staying tight, keeping his hips centered, not allowing too much for Stephenson to create some angles, although he does have a great angle here for an armbar attempt.
Nice elbow there on the inside by Pierre. Crowd coming alive here inside the Biloxi Civic Center for their hometown fighter, Harris Stephenson.
Stephenson doing a great job of keeping the head in control and keeping the posture down, which eliminates a lot of damage that's being done. As you can see now, he's grabbing the head and pulling that in and breaking the posture of Pierre.
Now away from the ropes is Stephenson. May have a bit better luck trying to attack with that high guard without the ropes being a factor. But right now he needs to worry about these elbows from Pierre.
Nice elbows, nice little like razor elbows from Pierre there. Isn't trying to wind up, but just trying to slice and like almost grit, I don't know the word. Saw the face. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
You hit it and cut it open and stuff.
Well, you kind of like rub it, like you saw it down instead of hitting.
You fighters are a strange breed, Pearl.
Beautiful, beautiful elbow there by Pierre.
Touch over 90 seconds remain here in round number 1.
He's doing a great job of framing on the chest, which kind of allows for him to keep his elbows wide. Had he have not been able to do that, he doesn't put himself in danger of submission attempts.
Some wrist control here by Pierre. Looked like Stephenson was trying to catch Pierre napping there in the guard, but Pierre, wise to it, able to swim through those legs.
Yes, and I mean, Stephenson is doing a great job of creating some attacks here and attempting, but he does need to control an arm before he hits this angle and tries to throw his legs up for a submission. He needs a little bit more control, but he's doing a great job of cutting the angle and creating opportunity, but he does need a little bit more control.
The guard of Stephenson open here. Trying to use that knee shield to get back up, but Pierre wise to it, able to clear the legs.
Pierre has what is that? The Oven St. Preux.
The Von Flue choke. You could potentially do that. The crowd here inside the Civic Center believing that Stephenson has something, but while he does have control of the neck, not the position he wants it in. Now north-south position.
Oh, nice.
Pierre trying to go for a submission of his own, but the dying seconds here of round number 1.
Very tight.
Interesting end to that round.
Nice grappling exchange by both gentlemen at the end of that round.
Interesting round by these two fighters in our co-main event inside the corner here of Harris Stephenson. Obviously a hometown favorite here in Biloxi. This would be the biggest win of his young mixed martial arts career if he were able to get it. He wanted to use this opportunity as a launching pad of sorts. Take a look at some of the action here from this opening round. Pearl, walk us through.
Okay, so that's what I was wondering. It was a great leg kick that landed, but he did kind of off-balance himself there by throwing that leg kick, and Socrates did a great job of capitalizing on that. He didn't land that overhand right, which is what I was curious to see, but he was able to offset and take him off of his feet and land in a top position, which I believe ultimately gave him that round. Won him that round, not gave him, excuse me.
We are headed into round number 2. Harris Stephenson, Socrates Pierre. This is our catchweight contest, co-main event of Icon Fighting Federation 5. TJ DeSantis, Pearl Gonzalez. Appreciate you joining us live on UFC Fight Pass.
Nice.
Attacking with the kick to the leg here early. Interesting entry on that takedown by Stephenson, and he ends up on his back for his troubles.
Socrates is very, very aware of his power and understands that he can hurt Stephenson and did a great job of staying composed in these strikes here and just kind of eating those leg kicks so that he could land a big overhand right or a big power punch.
I like the elbows here on display by Pierre. Being able to land elbows in this guard position, I think it's earning the respect here of Stephenson, who brings that guard up high in the effort to try to shut down that ground and pound.
He's got a great position here. He's got both legs over the shoulders. He's in control of the shoulders here, very in control. Can really set something up if he's patient and aware of what's being presented. But Pierre did a great job of just getting past that. Now he's going to shimmy his shoulders through to create some space and distance. He's flattening out the shoulders here, which now he's up, raining down some heat.
Some nice left hands. I believe they may have opened up the bridge of the nose of Stephenson.
I think it was a right hand in the striking exchange on the feet that opened that up.
I won't argue. I mean, this is what we've seen from Pierre is multiple strikes, whether it be on the feet or on the floor, and we've seen elbows inside this closed guard as well. And I really like this ground and pound offense, very calculated by Socrates Pierre.
Stephenson has a really great mission control position here. he's going again. He's up top on the legs here, over the shoulders. I don't know if he's going to utilize this for a triangle. He does have a triangle opportunity here, or a dead orchard even. He can even move his hips over to get this armbar on this far side over here. Let's see what he does with this, but he does have great positioning from the bottom.
If he's not able to capitalize on this position, Pearl, how long should he stick with this strategy? Because again, we're at the halfway point of this fight. If he fails to get it, while he may be forcing Socrates to fight his fight, I'm not so sure it's necessarily winning with the judges.
Agreed, and we've talked about this earlier. When you're on your back in MMA, if you don't have some very clear submission attempts, you are losing. And that's kind of what's happening in this moment right now, is he's being out-positioned. He's not creating any submission attempts here. So ultimately, yes, he's losing this battle right now. So he does. He needs to either change the game plan up and try for something else, maybe standing on his feet or sweeping.
And I don't want to suggest that he can't win the fight from his back on the judges' scorecards, but in these moments where Pierre is able to get his ground and pound going, those are much more memorable moments in top position than when, in the bottom position, Stephenson might be controlling the pace more.
He is, and Pierre is not just out-positioning him. He's creating and inflicting more damage in this fight. So I believe that Stephenson does need to do something different. Here he is in being out-positioned. He's, on the bottom, inside control of Pierre. Pierre is looking for a head and arm choke right now. Possibly going, great job going to the guard.
But Stephenson not able to really utilize that to get back to his feet. And I think at this point in the fight, the final, moments here of round number 2, a little over a minute left, he needs to make something happen, make a big statement, and steal that momentum.
Does. I'd like to see him go for a submission attempt. He's doing a great job of setting up these submission attempts, but he's not finishing the attempt. He's kind of just allowing for Pierre to slide through and get past his guard, and now he's in a very dangerous position again. Pierre very aware of what's happening right now, very aware of this high guard and okay with dealing with it and okay being in it, because he knows that he can get past it. They're slippery now, so it makes these submission attempts much more difficult to finish and implement. So I think that Stephenson does need to switch up the game plan right now.
Full side control here for Socrates Pierre. Trying to get back to half guard with Stephenson.
Nice, going for a Darce here, or attempting to go for the Darce. He does need that arm to go for it. He could go for a head and arm here, but he's choosing to just land these nice little tight strikes.
Ten minutes down here in our co-main event. Socrates Pierre has cut open Harris Stephenson. Cutman will have his work cut out for him. So your thoughts where we are on the fight right now? Don't necessarily need a scorecard, but the momentum, you got to believe, is leaning towards Socrates Pierre. What needs to happen for Stephenson to get back in this fight?
Stephenson's going to have to figure out either he's going to really attack for a submission and set up a position from the bottom. He seems to kind of favor the bottom in his guard because he's having a hard time on the feet as well right now. He's not doing a great job of setting up the kicks. And Pierre has him timed on the feet. He has the timing on the kicks. He knows the kicks aren't really going to damage him much, so he's willing to eat a leg kick in exchange for a big right hand, a big strike over top. Stephenson needs to create some damage here, and if he's going to go for a submission attempt, he cannot wait. He has to implement it and go for it.
Seconds out, third and final round, ready to get underway. Harris Stephenson, Socrates Pierre. DJ DeSantis, Pearl Gonzalez. This is our co-main event of Icon Fighting Federation 5.
Nice takedown. Great job there. Now he's on top. Let's see what he can do with this position.
Pierre scrambling, able to get in top position, half rubber guard position.
This rubber guard position is great, right? Because it breaks down the opponent. But you've got to utilize it. So if he's not going to go for a submission attempt, what he can do is land some big elbows. here. If he can, create a little bit of space from the bottom and land these elbows, and he's not utilizing that, which is what is ultimately putting him in these very dangerous positions and leaving him open for ground and big elbows like that, big strike that just cut another huge cut on the head. Great job by Pierre here of just staying in control and creating damage when he has the opportunity. Phenomenal job by Pierre.
Stephenson grabbing a hold of the neck, but you can see the blood of Harris flowing on the mat. Now in on a guillotine is Socrates.
Yes, great job there, but Stephenson very aware of it. Did a great job of rolling through and rolling out of it. Socrates looking for a darce here. Let's see if he can stay patient and get this. I mean, it's so slippery right now.
A lot of blood flowing from the head there,
yeah,
Stephenson.
It's a big cut. It's a big cut.
As far as cuts are concerned, I think it's in a okay spot. It's not necessarily getting in the way of his vision, but we might see a check of the cut. We'll see. But
it's on the skull. It's actually on the side of the head, in his hair.
Yep.
So I don't know if it's really going to affect his sight.
The referee was taking an interesting look at it. We've seen head cuts like this in the past. Eve Edwards had one against either Mark Hominick or Joe Stephenson, and it was just a bloody mess. But again, it's a lot of blood, but not necessarily the most concerning.
Pierre doing a great job here of staying on top, staying in control, and landing these short little elbows. Great job here. Then kind of when Stephenson starts to move and try to scramble, he does a great job of attacking the head or pretending to or even looking for a submission, which is ultimately keeping Stephenson on his back, keeping him in defense mode rather than offensively creating some scrambles to get to a better position. Great job by Pierre here.
And Socrates definitely getting into a more dominant position than he's had in the fight thus far, and he's in on that choke.
He's got a darce. He does got to pull that elbow in tighter. As you can see, Stephenson has his elbow up high, which is stopping the blood from being, stopped or stopping the choke here. Pierre does maybe need to do. Oh,
he taps and it's done. Socrates Pierre chokes out Harris Stephenson. Nicely done. Third round submission stoppage. What a statement for the former Island Fights lightweight champ, Socrates Pierre.
Very interesting. I wonder if the blood affected that because I don't think the choke was in that tight. He had the elbow up. He was doing a great job defending it. But I do wonder if all that blood was maybe getting in the way of him breathing.
You can see the cut. It's bad.
It's a gnarly one.
Yeah.
He's got two.
Socrates Pierre able to land a variety of strikes and elbows. Cut under the left eye there, Stephenson. Stephenson was game, very tough. I like his approach, but Socrates Pierre was just one step ahead of him constantly throughout this fight, and ultimately it is he that gets the submission.
Stephenson did a great job of utilizing the high guard, the rubber guard, of creating, and it was textbook the way that he was setting it up. However, it's a very different game when you're in jiu-jitsu and you're in MMA and you're utilizing this, because any moment you can be hit and struck. And we just saw that, and that's what Socrates did, is he dealt with that guard very well, stood in control, stood composed, and when there was an opportunity to land just a tight little strike, he took clear advantage of it. Great timing on this takedown here. Was in top position, but got a little overzealous there, and Socrates did a great job of sweeping and getting on top and finishing with this beautiful darce here.
You mentioned the cut maybe being a factor. It was just relentless offensive pressure from Socrates Pierre, because Stephenson had moments in this fight. He was fighting his style of fight, but
yes,
it was just not enough to break Socrates Pierre, who stayed and remained relentless and got the submission. For the official time of the stoppage, here's Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight comes to an end at 2 minutes 57 seconds into round number 3. For your winner by tap out from a darce choke, the sound of chaos, Socrates Pierre.
12-6, the record of Socrates Pierre. He said he wanted to fight 4 times in 2021, and so far, so good. 1-0. Nice bit of sportsmanship by these two athletes. When you look at Socrates Pierre, really impressive performance for himself. He talked about his future. It might be at 155 pounds, but tonight in this catchweight affair, he definitely proved to have plenty of talent. I can't wait to see the next time out here inside the Icon Ring.
Agreed, TJ. What a great performance, both of them. What a bloody, gory fight. That was so much fun. That was so much fun.
Yes, it was fun. We're having fun here in Biloxi, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you joining us here